It's official, they are in. The Philadelphia Eagles have entered the 2021 NFL playoffs, and that left a lot of egg on a lot of people's faces. We'll talk about all that and more coming up next.
The following announcement has been paid for by
the ENN Podcast.
He has a good energy, you guys.
Can you feel
Bored.
the excitement? And also,
The merchandise, wearing the hats.
Is what I'm seeing for real?
Here live from Lincoln Financial.
I can't wait till this video's over so I can say his name anymore.
Music.
Wow.
Again, and I hate to do this again, but these are deep.
What the hell? What is that? Whoa! What the hell?
And more.
What's his next book gonna be called?
Got you, you cocksucker!
I did not see that coming.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the ENN Podcast. I'm professional wrestler Chris Wild, live from bar 4133, and the Philadelphia Eagles are back in the playoffs for the fourth time in 5 years. The Philadelphia Eagles will have a playoff game, and look, I gotta tell you, it's almost as awesome as that new updated intro here on ENN, but the Eagles themselves, to get to this point, it's almost unreal. It's almost like being in a dream. We were sitting at 2-5, coming off one of the worst losses that I've ever seen to the Las Vegas Raiders. I went nuts. Other Eagles fans went nuts. We were ready to throw in the towel, but we didn't. We stayed with this team, and it has all paid off in the long run. Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts, as well as everybody else on this football team, deserves to take a bow just to get here. Now, what happens from here on may not be as promising, as some of these teams are absolutely awesome going into the playoffs, but the Eagles got here, and again, it is an accomplishment from where we were. But what I want to talk about today, because I have 2 weeks to talk about the playoffs, and to be honest with you, we've got a game Saturday night against the Dallas Cowboys that probably doesn't mean much of anything. The Eagles will probably sit their starters, that they have a bunch on the COVID list, and I don't think that the Dallas Cowboys are going to keep their starters in for long. The game just doesn't mean anything, even as much as I hate the Cowboys. I hate everything about the Cowboys to the point where I don't even like regular Cowboys or Cowgirls for that matter. I am not looking forward to seeing backups versus backups, but who knows? Maybe we get the win and we get to that 10th win of the season. Now, going on to what the main topic of this video is, it is what has happened has kind of sparked Eagle fans to reach into that old Twitter machine, go down that Twitter rabbit hole, and bring up these hot takes. Well, they were hot takes. Now it turns out they're freezing cold takes. All the things that we had to hear or endure during the offseason and during the season from these so-called analysts that get paid so much money to put their expert insight into these teams. There are a bunch of guys that were completely wrong to the point of, how do they even have a job? Now, I get it. Everyone's wrong at some point in their life, but some of these takes are ridiculous, and I'm not even going to touch the local media because the local media were almost just as bad as the national media. So I kind of want some music, maybe some corny game show music, because I'm going to go through my top freezing cold takes that people had to say about the Eagles, obviously during the offseason and before they made the playoffs. And we're going to start with Pro Football Focus. Everybody loves Pro Football Focus, right? Well, Austin Gale says, and I hope that music is hitting, producer. Austin Gale says that the Eagles at 1,400 to have the fewest wins in 2021 is a smart bet. The fewest wins in 2021. How does that feel? I hope nobody made that bet. Now let's go to everybody's favorite, Colin Cowherd, right? He's always got great stuff to say about the Philadelphia Eagles. Well, and I'm being sarcastic there, he made no attempts at showing the Eagles any kind of love, no positivity at all for anything going into this season. And even coming up to the last week, the week against the Washington football team, Colin Cowherd had this to say: Hurts is still dealing with an ankle. I'm going to take Washington and the points to upset the Eagles. Once the Eagles won, he had a show with Trent Dilfer where he told Trent Dilfer, and this is after the win against Washington, he told Trent Dilfer that, how is Jalen Hurts doing this with a bad offensive line that needs rebuilding? The Eagles have one of the best offensive lines in the league with a lot of young pieces already there. That's Colin Cowherd. And let's go back a little bit deeper into Colin Cowherd's hate or cold takes for the Eagles. He said months ago that the Eagles may have the worst quarterback head coach duo in the league as he was giving his NFC East predictions, which, listen to this, he had the Washington football team at 10-7, followed by the Cowboys at 9-8, the Giants at 8-9, and the Philadelphia Eagles at 4-13. As we sit here today, the Eagles are 9-7. My last two are my favorite two. These two guys and girl, respectfully, just seem to be the biggest idiots of the bunch this offseason and during the season. As talking about what the Eagles did in the offseason, Chad Forbes gave the Eagles an F and says disaster. Part of the grade is moving on from Wentz after paying him as a franchise QB. The head coach is frankly bizarre and not ready for the job. I'll say that again. The head coach is frankly bizarre and not ready for the job. Big ads were two Vikings defenders. The team will try to become Minnesota on defense. The GM mismanaged the draft and didn't get a starting corner. Do I even need to dissect how stupid this was? I thought it was stupid when I read it. I think it's stupid now. To say that a head coach is frankly bizarre, he didn't even call a play at that point and not ready for the job. It's just stupid and ridiculous. And Chad Forbes, you can suck it. Now let's go to Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor, this chick I've watched. Look, I don't watch much on ESPN or NFL Network, but sometimes I will dig into a clip on, I think it was First Take or First Things First. And Joy Taylor, I don't know what the Eagles did to her. I don't know what fan of what team she is, but nonstop hate all year. Even when the Eagles went on that run and started winning, she still just could not stop the hate for this team. But she said in the beginning, during the offseason, when the Eagles said, look, we're not going to name a starter. You know, there's going to be a competition from Jalen Hurts and Joe Flacco. Everybody knew, and their mother, everybody knew that Joe Flacco was no competition for Jalen Hurts. I mean, they just didn't want, they wanted Jalen to earn it. They wanted to give Jalen that feeling of earning it so they could say before the start of the season, we've got our starting quarterback, it's Jalen Hurts. Everybody knew that, but Miss Joy Taylor, who I don't know how many thousands of dollars she's getting paid to do her job, had to say this. I've never seen a team fumble the bag more spectacularly or more quickly than the Philadelphia Eagles. What a fall from grace. What a fall from grace for Joy Taylor, because she's eating her words as we speak, as the Eagles are in the playoffs. And I know I'll hear there's probably going to be a bunch of comments in the comment section. Well, who did they beat? They never beat a good quarterback. They played soft teams. They played quarterbacks that couldn't beat out high school quarterbacks. I get it, whatever. Nick Sirianni keeping this team together is the most impressive thing of this run. He has absolutely buried his doubters. He's made everybody look stupid, as he's only the second coach all time, besides his mentor, Frank Reich, to take a team that was 2-5 and get them into the playoffs. He's done an absolute awesome job. Jalen Hurts gets better, it seems like, every week. And look, will they go into the playoffs and get blown out? Will they go into the playoffs and not win a game? I mean, I don't know. Like, if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say that they can't get out of the first round. But who knows? I don't know with this team, because every time you think something, this team makes you think differently. With that being said, guys, I'm going to stop running my mouth. We'll have tons more content on this channel as we head into the playoffs and into Saturday's meaningless game against the Dallas Cowboys. Again, Dallas sucks. I hate Dallas. I hope that that's a victory. But if it's not the end of the world. There's nothing for the Philadelphia Eagles, and hopefully they come out healthy. That's the biggest thing going into the playoffs. And I would think that the Cowboys would think the same. I don't know. It's the Cowboys. Guys, stay safe out there. If you haven't subscribed, you like what you see. If you would like to donate to the channel, the Cash App information is in the description box. And with that being said, guys, if you're on the East Coast, I hope you are getting through this insane weather that we're having. 70 degrees almost one day, snowstorm the next. Nuts. It's just insane. Let's go, Birds. I'll see you.
E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles! E-A-G-L-E-S Eagles!
I need Eagle Nation to stand.